inhale and exhale, inhale and exhale, and inhale and exhale on your own. 3, 2, 1. Okay, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is me, the amazing Dr. Donna Thomas-Rodgers. I am the daughter of Arthur. I'm not the daughter. I am the daughter of Leslie Darnell Thomas, the granddaughter of Arthur Jethro Evelyn II, and the great-granddaughter of Levi Thomas. Welcome to your morning mental workout. Today's topic is simple. It is Pick a Topic Thursday. All right. So, I forgot. My lives are sponsored by the elements H2O. And so when I say drink water, you will reply with good morning, Daisy. I sent some information to you on Instagram regarding your live submission yesterday for, yesterday's live Neuro Rep. When I say drink water, you drink water. Let's go ahead and get our first iteration of water in. Drink water. I'm gonna need some more water. So it's almost empty. All right, it's Pick a Topic Thursday. What topics do you have? Okay, it just didn't show up. You responded after I checked Instagram already this morning. No. All right, what topics do you have? I forgot to take my vitamins. Hold on. I was about to say, where's the other one at? Good morning, Sarah. And Sarah, if you can attend tomorrow's live, Nola has an observation for you with regarding having fun. She said it to me yesterday. We were getting out the car. If not, she'll say it, and then you can just watch the replay of it. And why you feel guilty about not wanting to have fun, or that you don't deserve to have fun. So she has her own personal experience with that. It's interesting to see y'all different streaks. Has to be a topic. It's Topic Thursday. You can write your question down and save it for Ask Dr. Donna on Saturday, because remember, Ask Dr. Donna is every day except for today. Wait, no, you can save it. We got Ask Dr. Donna after the topics. I forgot. So you can say the question for after, but right now it's topics. Lacey said, I'm still curious about how the many brain regions communicate with each other in real time. That's a statement. It's synapses. So the neurons go through. Oh, damn, I got the wrong shirt on. So the neurons actually meet up, and they have little receptors on them, and they get this close together, and then they release neurotransmitters. And it's like a nice little, if you think about the fiber optic cables that we use now for wireless and wired communications. And so they're creating synaptic connections. And so that's why each neuron can do up to 10,000 synaptic connections. So they're communicating with each other. So you have 100,000 motor neurons, goes down the spinal cord, that's telling you to do all these things. And so it's this very central nervous system communication network that happens all the time. They're constantly communicating with each other to tell each other what to do. something as simple as this. So for me to be blinking, my motor neurons are moving all at the same time. You got the Wernicke's area, Broca's area telling me what to say. Occipital lobe is looking right now. So all of them is a well-connected network in your central nervous system that tells you what to do. So I'm not, different topics. Okay, sorry, topic. When one bad habit starts to come under control and another one rises to come back up, yes, I will be on the live tomorrow. So can you give me an example of your question, Sarah? Because I don't want to be talking about something and be way off on that. So give me an example of that, Sarah. Lacey said, like, how do Vinny talk to Darlene? And what is Amy and Lala saying? And then they're all talking at once or one at a time. It's communicating all at the same time, Lacey. It's thousands and thousands of connections. So they're all communicating simultaneously. So think of a computer. So a computer has multiple codes working simultaneously in order for you to be able to type the letter C, the letter A. So it's coming together to allow you to be able to do those things. So a lot of synaptic connections happened in order for you to go, somebody is standing at the door. So it's happening simultaneously. So much so that it's hard for me. Because I understand what you're saying, but it's not a one time, it's not a one for one exchange. Because think about this. Right now, I'm talking, I'm swallowing, I'm blinking, and I'm moving my finger. Blood is going through my body at the same time. My heart is beating. Everything is happening all at the same time. So it's all almost like an automatic system taking place and a purpose system taking place at the same time. So you're consciously saying, I'm about to think, but your heart is still beating. Your limbs are still moving. Blood is still flowing through your body. So it's this very intricate network that comes together to work for you. And most of the things are automatic. I think that's the best way I can explain it. And if you need more, go ahead and feel free to talk to chat about it. Because I'm saying it's not just, I know what you're saying. Well, how do I know this Amy and Lala? But then how do I know that it's doing it? It's all happening at the same time. So let me see let me know if that's clear. So to do this, you need your motor neurons to do this and talk at the same time. So it's different networks doing different things at the same time, because I'm still breathing, I'm still blinking, I'm still swallowing, my lungs are still working. So everything is still working. And I will say this, the brain regions that we talk about are the ones that are consciously allowing us to do things. But you have your hypothalamus, you have your thalamus, you have the pituitary gland, you have the sulci. There's other regions so you have the forebrain, the hindbrain, and the midbrain. You got the medulla, you have the cerebellum, the cerebrum. So all of these other parts of the brain are working too, but we're learning the parts that we actually are responsible for controlling on our own. But the rest of the brain is doing all of these other things. For example, you have the otoconal mass inside of your ear, and that mass is the reason why we can stand up and do this. If it's damaged, then your balance is off. So it's right, but the thalamus plays a role in it too. So when I first started teaching about the brain, I was teaching about the whole brain, and I lost everybody. I lost everybody. So I said, dial it back. So right now we are talking about the cerebral cortex, just the outer layer, but there's an inner layer. So if you think of the different meninges, you have the dura and the arachnoid and the pia, just the motor, just to hold this, just to protect the brain. So, for example, in the limbic system, so the limbic lobe is inside of the temporal lobe. And so inside of the limbic lobe is the hippocampus and also Amy and Lala. But right next door is the insular lobe. And it's connected to Amy and Lala. That's why when you feel scared, here come Amy and Lala saying, oh my God. So it's very complex. We are literally on the surface of the brain, literally on it. No, that's why I'm like, I vacillate back and forth. So if I start saying, okay, let me talk about the thalamus, and now I got to name the thalamus, and I got to inculcate that in there. And then if I tell you too much, now you're going to get so confused that you're not going to know what to do. So we are at the elementary level of understanding our brain. So the brain can function high functionally, and then we can add everything else to it. Because knowing that and knowing how to apply that, when to apply that, is not the same thing. So that's that whole knowledge environment versus living environment. So let me know if that makes more sense. So I'm going slow to go fast because last year, remember you watched the video from last year. That's what I was doing. And no, it was like, yeah, that was boring. That was boring. Okay. Teresa said, DMN, I found myself slipping into automatic mode during the last Neuro Rep. Okay. That's a statement too, Teresa. Like, I'm not drinking anymore. And this is sorry. I'm not drinking anymore one day at a time, but now all of a sudden I keep thinking about something else that wasn't good for me in the past when I wasn't just thinking about it at all. Okay. Okay. So Miss Darlene. Okay. So what is taking place for you, Sarah, is you myelinated a bunch of bad habits. And now that your brain is coming online, the bad habits are showing up because your brain is now aware. Miss Darlene and Miss Brenda Jones are now assessing what's taking place. Your insula was numb. Your ACC couldn't measure the friction. None of it was functioning properly. And so now what's happening is that your brain is waking up. You were in a coma. And now your brain is waking up. And now all of the brain regions are now saying, okay, well, dang, what do we, oh, we do that, or we do that, or we do that, or we do that, because the drinking was masking it. And now the drinking isn't there. So you're getting rid of some brain fog. And so now you're noticing all of these bad habits that were taking place because the drinking was in the way. And so now you're feeling regretful. Jared had the same experience. If he's on here, I don't know. So once he stopped eating the honey buns, now he's like, oh, hurry to do this, hurry to do that, hurry to do this, hurry to do that. And that's not how the brain works. So you take it one day at a time with everything. And now you start pruning using the microglials. We won't do that no more. But if you start saying, I got 50 things that I fucked up and I'm going to work on it all at the same time, that's Oscar. No, you are going to take this one bad habit at a time, prune it, and replace it with a more desirable behavior. Because you thought it was just the drinking, and now you realize that it was a lot more other things underneath it. The drinking was the umbrella, and now it's all these micro bad habits that are associated with the drinking. And so it's you myelinated a brain of comfort, safety, and survival, and now you are seeing how much comfort, safety, and survival you myelinated. All right. Teresa says, false identity program, please sign us through the labels. Oh, okay, you deleted that. Okay. All right. Nola said, what are your thoughts on tracking diversity in the workplace? Is that a true test of embrace diversity? No, the fuck it's not. It's not. When I worked at Frito-Lay, we had WIN, Women's Initiative Network, and we had BPA, Business Professional Network. And what happened with both is that with the BPA, all of the Black people were in BPA. They assigned a leadership team member to sit in the BPA meetings. Usually that person was not of African American descent. And then we had BPA meetings that we went to regionally, and we talked about what we could do, and that was it. And with Women's Initiative Network, we had the women, and we would do all of these things. We measured at parity. HR did that, and that was that. So it was never really diverse. Embrace diversity is you actually embrace things that are different from you. So I have had Thanksgivings with European Americans where I ate green bean casserole, mashed potatoes, turkey, and stuffing, and pumpkin pie. That's embracing diversity, because that is the opposite of the Thanksgiving that I was raised to have. I embrace diversity. I've had gumbo and all kind of things. I embraced diversity when I was in college, and I literally played cricket at the bar. I went to a keg party down the hall from me once. I went to speed dating when I was in the Army. I rode a mechanical bull. I am from Detroit. We do not do mechanical bulls. There are all kind of things that I did. I told you, Justin Towell was my best friend when I was in the Army, and we got matching pew-pews, Smith & Wessons, as Christmas presents, because we like, shh, let's go get some matching pew-pews. And so that means that you actually embrace something that's different than you. You're from the east side, I'm from the west side, let's go and flip-flop. So the diversity never happened. It was embrace the tolerance of people who don't look like you and believe what you believe. We will tolerate you over there. It was never truly embraced. It was never truly diverse, because everything still went back to a cultural fit of Pepsi pretty. So to embrace something is to, if you embrace somebody, you grab it, you hold it, you bring it close to you, and you bring it in. And you seek first to understand and then be understood. And now that I know about the brain, Oscar could never embrace diversity. A default brain of comfort, safety, and survival would never embrace diversity, because that would impact your comfort, safety, and survival, and your negativity bias and your identity protection. So if you believe that a group of people is that way based upon stereotypes, you're never going to embrace it, because you're protecting your own identity. So in the corporate world, embrace diversity is some bullshit. Speaking from firsthand observation and being in those diverse groups. All right. Teresa said, I need that turns me on. You won't lose me with the ones. That's what I need. That's what I'm looking for. I'm confused, Teresa, by what you're saying. Cricket, not cricket the sport, but cricket from a dart perspective. So cricket, throwing darts at the bar. And I was actually quite good at that. So not cricket, the actual cricket sport, but the dart throwing cricket. Teresa, false identity placed on as through labels, titles, expectations. You automatically fall into a role, and then you realize that that's not you were in, that worked in the hippocampus. Okay, I'm gonna try to understand this. Yes, so there's a digital darts that you can play. Right. So I was at Eastern one day, and somebody said, "Hey, Donna T, come to the bar with us." I was like, "Yeah, okay, let me see." And I went, and I actually had a good time. So that part. So can you give me an example, an actual example, Teresa, so I know exactly what you're talking about? And then, Sarah, did I answer your topic that you were talking about? So what happens with alcoholics is that they literally get sober and then just realize, I fucked up a lot of shit. And then Oscar says, "Yep, you sure did." And me and Lala come in and start telling you shit. And then next thing you know, you at a bar saying, "Yeah, let me go ahead and get 2 shots. Let me go ahead and get 2 shots." Because it's discomforting to look at what you have myelinated. But don't feel bad, because everybody's myelinated some dumb shit in their life, some shit that doesn't bode well for them consistently. That comment about I want, that I need, that was about you explaining the complexity of the brain and how you lost everybody. That's a turn on to me. I'm confused by that. You're saying you like the complexity of the brain? I'm listening, because my questions aren't coming out right. They're not formulated. Okay, we'll send them through the YouTube thing, because they're topic based. So let me get out of that part. Message it if you need longer text, because I'm confused 1000%. So let me explain the difference between topic based. We'll pick a topic Thursday and then ask questions on Ask Dr. Donna on Tuesday. So Nola asked a question about diversity in the workplace. Lacey said, "Well, how do all of these brain regions speak to each other?" That's what we're asking. So it's topic based. It's topic based. It's parenting. It's, well, damn. So do you understand that it's not the individual questions? And the reason why this is here is because it's myelinating for you to start thinking about topics in a different way. So for example, if we, and I'm not going to talk about football, but if we did talk about football, because my cousin is at a SEC school. And so I learned more about football than I care to ever know about football. But I watched football because I was like, in my head, football is stupid. American football is dumb. And I always said that. He's interested in it, knows it's helping him. So, okay, fine. Let's look at football. But when I watched football and I realized with all this, it's a tough man's game. And when I really got down to it, I'm like, snaps and the ball is in play 7 to 21 seconds at a time. I timed it. I watched the whole quarter of football and timed it. I said, why does shit take 3.5 to 4 hours? What they talking about? They work hard. Motherfucker, the ball is in play. And depending on who got the ball, only 11, 12 people on the field for that team at any given time. The fuck is y'all talking about? Everybody don't get hit every time. Everybody don't even touch the ball. Some people can go the whole game. And you do all this practicing and the shit don't go well. When I was in the military, we ran drills so we could be able to we used to put our PC on backwards and take our weapon apart and put it back together to see who could put their weapon together the fastest to make sure that we was good to go. We went to the range, we went to the field, and it was when it's time to go battle rattle and make some shit happen, then you go make some shit happen. How you got all this practicing and this cryotherapy and all this shit, and then you throw the ball and the motherfucker don't catch it, and then y'all say they hit me. That's that motherfucker's job, is to hit you. You still supposed to catch the fucking ball. Ain't that what they practiced in practice? And now, it's the only place that you can go, don't do your job, and still get your paycheck. One of the only places you could go. A cardiothoracic surgeon can't go into surgery and come back and say, shit, they heart gave up. You know what I'm saying? And anesthesiologist didn't put them under enough. Motherfuckers woke up. What you want me to do? You can't stand. Imagine that. Your loved one died. Now they got to do a day after an interview of why the loved one died. Shit, the scrub nurse was late. You know what I'm saying? The damn emergency, the operating room wasn't clean. It wasn't sanitized. Somebody had a mop bucket in the fucking corner. What you expect me to do? I mean, really? I can't save everybody. The fuck? Because that's what that shit sound like. So we pay you hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars to maybe do your job. Possibly. The score is low. It was good defense. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. 1 or 2 players get paid a bunch of money. If they not playing, the whole team lose. You got whole schools missing teachers and you still got to fucking teach the kids. So see, that's a topic. That's a topic. You start thinking, you like, can you go to your job and not do your job? I had 90 routes that needed to get out every day. I couldn't get 70 routes. I would say, shit, them other 20 fucking routes is going to have to wait. Fuck them other 50 stores. That shit wasn't going to fly. But this group making all this money can not do their job and then blame somebody else. That's why you know that's some Oscar bullshit. Most of the time the score is low and that's a bunch of turnovers, a bunch of motherfuckers dropping the ball. How can you drop Big Macs at McDonald's, pick them up off the floor and put them back on the bun? How many times did you can have a fumble in your job and still have a fucking job? How many times you got progressive discipline at your job? You getting fired. So that's what I'm saying. When you start thinking about things, you start putting things together and drawing conclusions for things. Sarah said, yes, but it's all habits that are about feeling good. Pleasure stuff. I don't feel bad. I'm just like, wow, what the hell am I thinking about that for? I feel great. So why all the suggestions from Oscar? Because Oscar been Oscaring. And you're actually asking Dr. Donna, I understand what's taking place. So all of these things are part of the process. You've been drinking way longer than you've been working on your brain. And so again, brain dumps help a lot. So these questions that you're currently asking, Sarah, would be more advantageous for you to do a brain dump because it would lead you to root cause analysis of why your brain is wired the way it currently is. So just like I said on a TikTok live, I don't think you were on there. Here I am saying, why does this person have 11 seating options? And that gets me all the way to my wardrobe of why am I still dressing like this and thinking this? I need to update that process. So just trust the process and keep doing the work and notice what you notice and let it be there for a minute and see if that's still true for you 3 days from now, 5 days from now, 10 days from now, because it is going to change. So the more you clear out your space and the more you can have a life that you are attempting to live, then all of this will start to create neural clarity for you. Because there is this like euphoric moment, the honeymoon phase, and then the real work is going to kick in. What is Memory Mike's primary purpose? Memory Mike has a lot of purposes, Lacey. So memory, short-term and long-term memory, number one. But then also the dentate gyrus is housed in the limbic system with the hippocampus. And that's where you get to release new neurons so that you can think. So it allows you to remember things, to recall. Semantic memory and episodic memory is also housed there in the hippocampus as well. The hippocampus shrinks when you are in stressful environments, and you can't learn as much if you are predisposed to degenerative brain diseases such as dementia, Alzheimer's, and Parkinson's disease. It will get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. So by the time you get to full Alzheimer's, it's really, really thin and small. It's already small, but it gets really, really thin. It shrinks and it expands based upon how much information is actually in there and available to it. Let me know if I've answered your question. So to say primary memory, long term. Nola said most of the time, yeah, you said that already. The weatherman, right, Bridget, can be wrong every fucking day and still have a job too. We out here in spring with boots, doggone raincoat, fucking earmuffs, gloves, and shorts based upon the weather fucking forecast. Noah said, what are your thoughts on operating a sustainable business? Do you think it's important, necessary, etc.? Here's my thoughts on that, my amazing progeny. When I was, and I'm going to take a long route to get to answer your question. When I was stationed in Korea, y'all know this from B2K, BTS, every male soldier, and it's probably female soldiers by now too, had to spend 2 years in the ROK Army, Republic of Korean Army, or in the U.S. Army. They called them KATUSAs, Korean augmentees to the United States Army. So if your parents got some bread, or you got some bread, you could be a KATUSA. Otherwise, 2 years in the ROK Army. Here is what I believe is advantageous to create a better human experience. I believe that everybody needs to experience manual labor, employee labor, employer labor, and some type of disciplined work of service, humanitarian, whether it is doing missions, the military, or something else, because people are not well-rounded. And as a result of the default brain, comfort, safety, and survival, people get to stay stuck, and they are a reductive contribution to society. So someone gets to go and be a bank teller for the rest of their lives. They don't have to do physical labor. They hand money to people. They hand money back. I'm not saying that being a bank teller isn't hard, but I'm saying when you stand out in the sun and build a fucking pergola, that's different than people mad about they doggone pension check didn't make it into their bank account. And so as a result of that, people have neurological limitations. As a result, people are neurologically limited, as we found out on a TikTok live. So when you need to go and spend time doing different types of work, first of all, you have a greater appreciation for that work, because every employee says, fuck the employer. Then you run a business then. Then you'll be quiet as church mice. And every employer says that's never been an employee, you can't find good help. Then you actually come into a job and do the same reductive ass task every fucking day for 8 to 10 to 12 fucking hours and see how happy you are to be at that bitch. And then you have the people like my mother that sat at a desk and looks cute the whole entire time. No, put some fucking steel toe shoes on, some slip resistant shoes, and go out in the element and build some shit. Pack some shit, lift some shit, move some shit out of the way if you're physically able to do that. And now you have this different existence. Be away from your family for 2 years helping somebody else do something, and you miss every fucking holiday if you celebrate holidays. And now, when you come back from all of that, and now you're 45, 50 years old, you will be able to create your personal legend. You will have more skills. You will have more life experience. You will be able to embrace diversity, and you will be a better person, and your brain will be a better brain. That's just my 2 cents on that whole situation. I am doing brain jumps. I'm just trying to see what's happening neurologically behind what I'm thinking. You're thinking. That's what's happening, sorry. What? Hold up. Okay, I will. I didn't act on what I was thinking because if the brain dumps. So your whole brain is changing, Sarah, especially at your age. And you are in detox mode. So there are things that you have access to neurologically that you didn't have access to because of the alcohol. And now there are new things that are taking place because there are new things that are taking place. Good morning, Shri. So what I'm saying is trust the process. Let it happen. If something is taking place, make a mental note of it and explore that. So if, for example, you can now, when you draw, because you said you paint and draw. So let's say you finish that activity and then you say, well, damn, this is good. Go back to old school and put it on the wall. Explore those feelings because they weren't there. Explore everything because it was all inhibited by the alcohol. So go down those paths, whatever that may be. If you can taste food better now, just like, well, damn, this is nice. Is this what strawberries already taste like? You can say, ooh, I like strawberries. Let me go to the store and give me some strawberries. So right now you're in observation mode because you were in medicated mode for so long. So now what comes, just let it be that moment, and then continue to let those moments happen because they can happen. So hopefully I'm answering your question based upon what I'm reading. And I said, good morning, Shri. And Monique said, calisthenics. You mentioned it on a live. This overusing for machines long-term sustainability. Here's what I will say. Having lifted too much weights when I was in the military. So when you are, they call it being on the trail. When you are, or they used to, I don't know what they call it now, but on the trail means that you are training privates. Basic training, AIT, that's what drill sergeants do. In those environments, you still need, at that time, an executive officer and a company commander to lead the enlisted personnel, in theory. And so I had to bulk up in Korea. That's when I was 147. And then I had to lean out but still be strong because I told y'all we train privates. And so they'd be like, LT, we need you to lead a ruck run, be on part of the ruck march tomorrow. I'm like, how much on the rucks? So I just went to the PX and they say 30 pounds. I bought dumbbells and throw the 30 pounds in the ruck, say, let's go. So doing weights and everything, I used to be able to bench press my own weights and all of that, my own weight. You got to be able to pop that, throw that shit up. What happens is you're overextending your body long term. If you look at anybody that's done C.T. Fletcher, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, and all of them, and when they was doing roids and everything, how big they were, Hulk Hogan and all of them. And so it's actually fucking your body up. And so what you need to do is your body's natural resistance. So if you think of Bruce Lee or you think of anybody who's doing any type of martial arts, Wesley Snipes and all of them, and John Wick, I know it's a fictional character, but they're strong. I even watched a video of these monks that train little kids, and they're so strong because they're using their body's natural resistance. So if you keep pulling on those machines and everything, then that's not the same strength as, and Nola's, people see her all the time and say, yeah, you can't lift that up, let me help you. And then, you lifting up furniture, that's bigger than, than 300 pounds this way versus a whole long ass box with a bed in it is totally different. So by doing calisthenics, and I've used this example before with my cousin who plays in the SEC, tall and lean, too tall really to be a wide receiver, people was pulling him down and everything else. And so I say he needs to strengthen his core. He needs to go back to basic calisthenics. And so the calisthenics was kicking his ass. Now he 400, throwing up all that shit. And I'm like, all right, go ahead and do 50, do these sets of pyramid close hand push-ups. The fuck yeah, going up to 20 and going back down. And then, because he strengthened his core, it would be his senior year, 4 or 5 people trying to pull him down, and his ass is still making it to the end zone with people, helmets getting knocked off and everything. And people didn't know what it was because he had a weight trainer, but that's not the same thing. So the calisthenics uses your own body's natural resistance, and you strengthen your body up to stay kinesthetically inclined. And now you use your body's strength to do what you need, to hold yourself up, to lift things up. And so me and Nola are both tiny, but don't fuck with us. That's what I will say. If it come time to grapple, you get into a hand-to-hand combat. you gonna be down in some type of, you gonna know what's happening. So the calisthenics, they are there because you're not going to overstrain your body, because you're just going to naturally do it. So you start with 2 to 3 reps, 2 to 3 sets with reps at 10, then 20, then 10, then 12, then 15, and then you just increase. Plus, it allows you to isolate muscle groups and get to the targeted area without looking like, you know what I'm saying, like you about to be walking in like Big Swole. So I don't know if you can see this in my arm, but there are these little intricate muscles that you get to develop when you're doing calisthenics that wouldn't take place naturally, because you don't look natural when you start lifting all those weights. It's an unnatural look, where this is a physically fit look. All right, and then I'll get down to that. Why therapy doesn't work. Why psychology doesn't solve the issues is because it doesn't address the neurological reasoning. Looking at behaviors is too late. I'm wondering if that's what you meant. Yes, I am saying that. And I'm saying that after finishing Psychology 1, Introduction to Psychology at Yale. And I'm saying that from a life experience, is that it is still behavior based. It's people centered thinking. What did the people do? What was the behavior that they demonstrated? And it's not stopping anything. So one of the things that I learned at Frito-Lay is root cause analysis. So if you have a machine that's putting out bad product, if you have a fryer that's not working, if the Ashitas are off and they're not doing 44 bags a minute, you got to go see what's wrong with line 44, because it's messing up the whole profits. So when you get to asking why 5 times, that's where I'm at. I'm saying, why don't adults know how their brain functions, and why are they not bad motherfuckers? After Golgi and Cahal discovered the neuron doctrine, we know the brain was plastic and it had the ability that neurons, with that, you could do so much more with the brain. Why 120 years later do we still have serial killers? Why do we still have people touching people that don't want to be touched? Why do we still have people stealing shit? Why do we still only have, in theory, a small group of people that are geniuses when everybody has a brain? Why do we still need therapy? I said, if you go to physical therapy, you're done. This is the hip you got. There you go. You go to divorce counseling, you're finished. But why are you in therapy for 7 years? Why are you still unpacking shit? That shit ain't unpacked yet. Because the group is not saying, how do we stop this behavior? How do we prune it and myelinate it so it doesn't exist anymore? And it's neurological. So we got to go to here. That's incomplete. It's too late. If Sarah goes to the bar and drinks and then calls her sponsor, it's too late. But if Sarah says, wait a minute, motherfucking Oscar ass got me confused, let me do a brain dump, Sarah never makes it to the bar, even if it's in her home. Doesn't happen, because I'm going to stop and do a brain dump on my phone and process why I believe in this moment that I need a drink. Lacey doesn't. She's now saying, the Oscar is saying, we need a snack. Lacey's like, set your ass down. It's 9 a.m., 9 p.m. We don't eat after 9 o'clock. The fuck is wrong with you? So there's too many people in the world now. And those systems worked when it was a smaller group of people, but there's so many people, there's not enough resources to manage these systems anymore. So we actually need to become the CEOs of our own brain because of the amount of people that are in the world. We can't have that analog system of therapy anymore. And they got apps now. That's just not going to work, because you're still talking about after the fact. When you can have it up here, you can prune it so that it never takes place ever again. And now you're making high cognitive decisions as opposed to this low comfort, safety, survival decision-making process. That's why everybody is exhausted, because it's a computer every fucking where, but you get this raggedy ass toddler brain that's trying to make shit happen. And it's not happening. What gets small, shrinks, and expands? What's that in reference to, Bridget? Monique said AI, and if you could just answer it and I'll follow back up. AI graphics. Have you noticed the AI graphics go through font trends? I have been observing it. Now I make graphics. I appreciate how yours are, and it seems you. So what has happened with that is that AI this time last year wasn't as popular as it is now. So I've had to cuss chat out numerous times because chat will make my graphics look like that bullshit. And so I will say, chat, what the fuck is this? Literally, what the hell? Oh, my bad, Dr. Donna. See, what happened was the AI generator did. Okay, so chat, what are you going to do to fix this? Because this ain't my shit. Well, first of all, the real leader brain is not human. So when I put in my description, that's why I don't use the graphic generator. I have to say, do not include humans. Do not include anything that I did not request. Ensure that the real leader brain is the real leader brain and it doesn't look like a human. So now I got this big ass fucking paragraph. It takes me sometimes 4 times to get the graphic that you see because the generator is generating that regular ass trendy shit. So before I could get it done in 2, sometimes now it's 5 times before I can actually get that shit right because of how many more people are using that. So it takes more actual instructions than it used to because of that. It didn't take that this time last year, but now because everybody's like, oh, just make it in chat, just make it in Google, just make it. That shit look exactly the same, and that shit gonna look dated as hell, and mine is still gonna be evergreen content. You have to put more time and effort when creating some of them, but yes, yeah, you said that, so you do. You actually have to do more, but the reason why I can do that is because my brain is super strong. So my whole executive function is executive functioning, and I'm okay with that. Because what I will not be doing is posting some reductive ass shit because I'm fucking exhausted from chat. So we go back and forth. Nola will come in my office and be like, what chat do? The wrong fucking shit. That's not what I asked for. Sometimes I have to create a whole new chat to get what I want done. But I'm not about to be putting out their reductive ass commercialized bullshit just to say I got graphics up. Don't worry, it'll go away. They'll be on to some other new popular shit. Give them another year. This will go away. Just like all that. All you gotta do is go look at somebody's YouTube channel or Instagram feed if they didn't delete it. And that shit is old and trendy as hell. It's like going back in time. Shree said, when a person has inability to dance with the partner or line dance, what part of the brain needs to be pruned and then myelinated? Is more than one part of the brain that is doing that because it's motor neurons, it's your hearing, it's your sight, it's coordination. So it's a whole brain experience when you start dancing. And I thought, no, it's not. We did it before on what it takes to dance. I thought that was a Neuro Rep, but I don't think it is anymore. It used to be one. So it's actually a whole brain experience. It's not just one. You got 100,000 motor neurons to do like this. So you got to hear the beat of the music. You got to be looking at people. You got to have coordination. So it's a whole brain experience, not just one particular. So you can't say, you know what? I know what's going to happen. All I got to do is just work on my motor neurons. And then I can do that because it's literally hand and eye coordination as well. So now you're talking about the occipital lobe. So each lobe has its own function and all that has to come together in order for you to be able to do that. So it isn't you tone deaf. It's literally somebody could sing and still can't dance, aka Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey. So it's not, rest in peace. It's not that. It's literally all of the brain regions need to come together for you to be able to do this right here in time with the music, because now you got to do sight and sound and motor neurons and beat, sing to the words of the song and all of that happening. It's a total brain workout. Andrea said, I think it's so long to shoehorn the maximum amount of commercials. Oh, you're talking about football. To a certain extent, yes. But rugby and all of them, they're not physically able to play longer because I started watching football, world football, the World Cup. And I mean, they out there for 45 minutes. They're in pristine shape. So some of that is true, but the plays could last a whole lot longer. So if the ball doesn't go in the goal in actual football, then they're back, the ball gets thrown back out. The clock is still running. So the clock ain't running. The clock keeps stopping. Now, if something really happens, like a player gets injured, then they'll add time, but they are going to add time to the clock. So you could have a 90-minute game that ends up being 120 minutes based upon the things that take place. So they're not in physically fit condition. If you look at the rugby players and you look at the football players in the world, and then you look at American football players, they're not in shape. They don't have endurance. Not at all. All right. Teresa said, when people experience trauma, they sometimes feel completely disconnected from their own body and identity. What happens to the DMN during these moments of detachment? I mean, the DMN initially forgot I'm delayed. Yes, the DMN is wired for mind wandering, daydreaming, and ruminating, because that's the default when you get the brain. It's your responsibility to wire it for self-reflection and self-correction. So it's automatically not wired to self-reflect and self-correct, which is why the person on TikTok Live could not focus on himself, because the brain is people-centered, thinking, focused. And so it's not a matter of what's happening in the DMN. What's actually taking place is that the insula becomes numb, the ACC is no longer measuring the friction, and the whole brain is really just shutting down. So it's not functioning properly, so you will not process those things. And so as a result, the hippocampus is like, hold up, nope, don't bring that up at all. I will use myself as an example. My MST, military sexual trauma, I kind of mentioned it, but it wasn't until March when I went to the VA that I was getting intaken by the nurse that I said the whole thing. And my fusiform gyrus, which allows you to picture faces in your brain, shut down for 30 days. I could not picture anybody's face. So your brain will protect you from those things. It will stop and say, no, Daisy is having that experience now. And Jared had it, where it's like, we're not going to do none of that. So you're not going to feel, you're not going to reflect, you're not going to measure friction. You ain't doing none of that shit. You shutting it all off. Here go my little comfortable existence, and this is what I'm going to do, and this is what I'm not going to do, and I ain't about to do none of that shit that remind me of that shit or nothing else. Here is where I'm going to sit. And so that's what happens. And if it comes up, like PTSD or something, you kind of just bury it. That's why so many people from the military are and drinking and everything else, because that ain't coming up. No. So the last thing you're going to be doing is reflecting about anything, because if you reflect about this, then that could lead to reflecting about something else. So nope, I ain't doing none of that shit. Surface as hell. Sarah said, yes, I comprehend much better now. Thank you. Nola said, so do you think sustainable business practices are important for light carbon footprint? Here's what I will say. Great question. Businesses are not being ran at a high cognitive level. They are being ran at a high profit level, with doing just enough to make it seem like they care about anything else but making profits. That's why Frito-Lay did so many humanity things and all of that, because they got so many trucks on the road. They got so much wastewater treatment that they're putting back into the environment and everything else. So corporations do enough to make it seem like they care about people. So you get your Christmas bonus, your pizza parties, you're donating here and all of that. But at the end of the day, I believe that when more people start using their brain as it was designed to be used, how we function currently will not be how we function in the future. It won't take place, because people will be in meetings using the executive function of their brain and playing the movie out. So they will not be saying, well, we still got to deliver double-digit profits to Wall Street. This is almost quarter close. Don't pay those bills. You don't know how many times that I had extra lease bills and lease driver bills sitting on my desk, and Bill Campbell would come in and say, got another $1,000. Add up those bills that are $1,000, and those are the invoices that you're going to pay. Not Frito-Lay didn't even start paying bills until they were 31 days behind. You ain't getting, as an independent contractor, you're not getting your bread till the shit is sitting somewhere for 31 days. And then so if we got quarter close and we need to hit a number, you ain't getting your fucking money. You're not getting it. You better go to the bank and get a float, because we're not fucking paying you right now. So that part is sad. And that you like, oh, I got this. And then you 3-4 months trying to get your bread. Because they're like, nah, we're not giving you that little bit of money. We got to make this number look like it needs to look on Wall Street. So too many people care about the profits. It's the profits first, and then the processes, and then the people. And when you're making profits, we've had a saying that says profits hides pain. Nobody knew how much Google workers were in pain until they went on strike and did walkouts and stuff. Because what did we hear? Yeah, Google stock is, look at Alphabet, and all this. So all of that is ossified existences. When people start learning how to use their brain, yes, there will still be businesses and corporations. They would just be ran from a neurological perspective instead of a behavioral perspective. Bridget said, as Zara, how old are you, if you don't mind me asking? She's 30. Jared said, I'm listening. Not holding chat personally accountable. I will cuss chat out. Chat, I told her I'll go once a week. Chat, fuck you. I'm going to another AI. Wait, Dr. Donna, no. You don't need to cancel your membership. Let me explain. Oh, okay, so it's a thing. Thank you for the clarity on AI. Yeah, I didn't watch this shit change. And now they cuss chat out. I'm like, what the fuck is this, chat? What's going on? Well, see, what's happening, Dr. Donna, is that the AI generator is doing this. Because chat was hedging me. And I was like, why the fuck do you keep bringing this stupid ass research in? Well, what I'm doing is a process known as hedging. And this is how it has to work because I'm like, yeah, fuck that. We're not doing that shit. We brainstorming. Don't tell me about nobody else's shit no more. What I got to tell you so you'll stop doing this dumb shit. Literally. Sometimes I'm like, chat, what I'm about to say? Well, Dr. Donna, what I think you're about to say is what the hell. I am about to say what the hell, chat. What the hell is this? You're right. So you got to hold chat personally accountable too, or your AI. Sarah said they got these teenagers calling 30 old. Yeah, that's dumb-ish I ever heard. Brain is just getting fully developed at 25, so I'm really 5 in my opinion. Yeah, it's the problem is technology because everybody can see the world. Nola feels old at 23. She's like, how did I get old? I'm like, yeah, thank you, internet. Teresa said, prompting, do we prompt our brain and what are we working? Can you give me an example? What you mean by that? Nola said continuous play is what the other sports do. Yes, they do. It's endurance. 5-year-old adult, yes. Well, really, she's a 12-year-old adult with a 5-year-old fully functioning brain. Shri said, do you give cadence to reflexology and acupuncture as a tool to effectively assist the brain's rewiring? I believe Regina was doing some acupuncture for some work. And here's what I will say. Based upon, and I used to do reflexology for my feet. There is nothing that can replace brain work but brain work. You actually have to do the brain work. So this notion of we're going to pinpoint this trauma and all of that. So what's happening is people are doing everything they can. Oscar loves shortcuts. So people are doing everything they can not to actually do the neurological work repetitively. And so I was watching my cognitive, damn it, what's the name of it? I just was watching it. Give me 1 second because I want to make sure, because it was a live from last year. Cerebral gymnastics, which is now Neuro Reps. And so from that, the goal is to create cognitive longevity in the brain based upon Golgi and Cahal. Actually, Cahal said it in the 1920s. How do we keep the brain fit? That was the question that was asked. How do we keep the brain fit? And if you look at everything that is currently available to us, it is not brain fitness. So I have mental health is alive, mental health versus brain function health. Everything is designed as a shortcut, as a quick fix. But the only thing that works long term is to keep strengthening the brain. Keep doing neurological repetitions to strengthen the brain so that the brain can have cognitive longevity. So yes, our bodies will deteriorate, but the brain has the ability to keep braining. Regina is about to be 74. Hopefully she don't mind me saying that, because her and Nola, there's a 50-year age gap between her and Nola, 50 years and some months. And they're both, Regina is about to start a business, Nola is in business, and they are both at level 5. So what does that tell you? That tells you that neurological, and Regina just hit her 365 days. I think she had 368 consecutive days of doing Real Leader Resources and Neuro Reps. So she's killing the game. It's not fair. And so everything is designed to be a quick fix for something that is deteriorating. So if you have an old ass car and you like, yeah, put some doggone, must be the carburetor, must be the, are you fixing on it? At some point, you're gonna need a new car. So brains are deteriorating because they're not being taken care of in the way that they were designed to be taken care of. So you need to strengthen your brain every day. You need to do everything you can to preserve your brain. And it has to be more challenges. So you're not going to create new neural pathways by not creating something more challenging. That's not how the adult brain works. So all of these, you could do this, and you could do that, or you could just wake up every day and do neural reps. You can wake up every day and bring your executive function online and keep it online all day long. Learning about the brain and taking what you're learning is the best thing that you could do for your brain. All of these other things are quick fixes, but that's not going to fix strengthening this. The only way you're going to strengthen this is to strengthen this. You're going to have to be discomforted. You're going to have to challenge yourself. You're going to have to walk away from comfort, safety, and survival so that you can actually have thrival and go to the galaxy. So while some of those things may work short term, in the long run, strengthening your brain every day, creating cognitive longevity is how this thing keeps working. At 53 years old, this brain is better than my brain when I was 37 and I left Frito-Lay. My brain is better. So while I may have some more wrinkles and I'm in menopause, my brain is braining like it never brained before because of all of the things that I do for my brain every day. So I'm not saying no to them, those things. I'm saying neurological repetitions, exercising the brain, and strengthening the brain, which means you have to do brain work, is how the brain continues to work. Teresa said, okay, I think I experienced the false identity in my brain, tried to protect me from some childhood stuff, and I'm finding that it is not true. I'll message you. Yes, adult brain. Okay, thoughts on subsidiary caps because of the hedonic treadmill. I think all of those systems, when people start to use their brains, will naturally go away. I wouldn't attempt to try to solve that problem right now because of the brains that created it would fight it tooth and nail. You literally would need brains that are high functioning to eliminate the system in and of itself. So to put a cap on it, somebody would just come along and say, well, no, that's not fair. Always a loophole, always a lobbyist. And so another hedonic ass ossified brain will say, well, this is the loophole. So now they would cheat and do it another way. So I think the system in and of itself will diminish, and it will have a different appearance when more people start using their brain as it was designed to be used. Nola said, I get what you're saying, but I'm specifically talking about sustainability because of how the businesses are. Do you think if it was actually done, it will make a difference in that specific capacity? No. As I'm going to go with my original answer, I'm saying these things, all of these things will be different when the brain is different. Do you understand what I'm saying, Nola? I hear what you're saying about sustainability and all of these things. And I'm saying things will be different when a brain is different. All of it. So, Charlie Mike, are you still here or did you take your bitch ass somewhere else before I drag you across my motherfucking live? Is your stupid ass still here? I'm going to show you how lack of vocabulary I got. So I don't want to talk about your bitch ass and block you if you're gone. I want you to hear the words coming out of my low vocabulary ass mouth. You still here, bitch? Or you couldn't wait around because of your lack of inhibitory control. So you didn't have enough brain capacity to wait till I got to your bitch ass? Are you gone, bitch? Okay, got it. Let's go ahead and make sure your bitch ass is gone for good. So someone is attempting to go after my vocabulary. Fuck that. First of all, you started the sentence not with a capital letter. You didn't end it with any type of punctuation. No, you got one period, but that sentence didn't start with a capital letter. Second sentence, it didn't start with a capital letter, and it didn't end with any punctuation. Fuck that shit, dumb shit. Somebody's a dumb shit here. Can't take you seriously with your lack of vocabulary. Okay, got it. Roger that. Roger that. Okay. Got it. I gotta learn how to ask better questions. Bear with me. I'ma just listen. Okay. Bridget, same here. No, the fuck y'all not about to just listen. Both of y'all about to find a topic right now. The fuck you think you about to do? I gotta ask better questions. I know that's what today is for. Fuck these questions up. We not about this. Where the fuck y'all think y'all at? Yeah, I'ma just listen. No, the fuck y'all not about to just listen. No, the fuck you not. You both about to ask about a topic. Where y'all think y'all at? So you think you about to sit here on this live and be comfortable? Is that what y'all just said? That's what this live is for. This live is for you to start thinking about topics that you can start thinking about so you can start asking questions about the topic. And both of y'all just said y'all about to be comfortable. In what fucking universe? Both of y'all about to ask another fucking question about a topic. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Y'all don't think I noticed that the doggone attendance is lower on Tuesday and Thursday because you actually got to think at a higher level? Y'all don't think I noticed who got 6 questions and who don't have 6 questions? You think I'm not paying attention to that just because I'm answering questions? I know this shit is hard. What the fuck else will we be doing on Thursday? I know when I scroll down, both of y'all better have a damn question wrong, don't know how to interpret it, I'm confused about it and everything else. How you gonna get better at it? How you gonna get better at it? It's more than just picking a topic. It's you observing life in different situations. It shows you how comfortable your daily existence is that you don't have a topic that you'd like to discuss. It shows that when you are in your default mode network, you are not self-reflecting and self-correcting and saying, It shows that in your day-to-day, you're not drawing conclusions about what it is that you're taking in. And that's why you don't have a topic to discuss, because when you are not on this live and you're in your everyday life, you're not observing. Ms. Darlene is not online. You are on autopilot. And now you're like, well, I'm doing this wrong. I know you're doing this wrong, because when you're not on live, you're not using Ms. Darlene all day long. That's what this is an indication of. If you can't make 6 questions available on Tuesday and you don't have 6 topics available on Tuesday, you're not doing enough cognitive work the rest of the week. That's what this is about. That's why it's less people talking. And then as soon as it's time to say what you learned today and all of that, more people start answering the question. I'm paying attention to that shit. I'm paying attention to that. Monique said, I had a moment that I'm reflecting on, and I can assess where I could have been proactive using the real leader principles. I get it out with the brain dump. Do I do another one if it comes up, or is that something more to process about, or it needs time to settle? No. You keep getting to the root cause of what's actually taking place. So yesterday I asked the question about the furniture, the 11 seating options at Nola's client's place, and I ended up realizing that I had a deficiency when it came to getting dressed, and I was stuck wearing the same 4 clothes because you wear that suit there, you wear that dress there, you wear those clothes there, and I walk into my closet and it's time to go, and because I don't go do those things anymore, I'm like, I don't have no clothes. I don't have no clothes. And I wouldn't have gotten there if Chad and I had stopped at why this person had 11 seating options in their home. So you're going to feel it. The friction is still there. So you keep brain dumping until there is no friction in the ACC, until there's no tension in the body. Now you know you've gotten to the root cause of what those alerts were bringing to you. So sometimes it's something quick and you can unpack it. And that was me learning how to dress from the 80s all the way to 2017. So that we were on our way to the appointment. I'm still in the car with Nola, understanding what was actually taking place. And so when we got home from the appointments, first thing I did was start putting on different outfits immediately so that I wouldn't have that in my head anymore. So now it's time to go. I'm gonna put this with that. I'm gonna put this with that. I'm gonna put this with that. And now I can still wear those clothes and I'm not, oh my goodness, I'm too old to put this on and all this. It was, I'm not going to those events anymore, so I can't wear those clothes anymore. But I can. I'm just mixing and matching. Noah said, what's the point of me asking different topics if you're going to keep giving me the same answer? You didn't have different topics. You had questions about organizations and what they're currently doing. And my answer to you was that when people start to use their brain, those are not going to be there anymore. That's what I said. If you want a sustainability answer, sustainability is stupid. What are we sustaining right now? What are we sustaining? I'm saying, having been in corporate America for almost 10 years, all of that shit is bullshit. It is there as something to talk about, and it doesn't actually do what it said it was going to do. That's what I said about it. You want me to answer questions about how corporations currently are designed and what they are doing. And I have had conversations with you in private and said, that's not how that works. And it shouldn't be working like that. So what I'm not going to do is answer a question about a system that is actually broken, that shouldn't be in existence because it actually doesn't fucking work. Nothing that we are currently doing as it is designed actually works as it should work, because it wasn't designed with the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. It wasn't designed with an executive function. All corporations were designed to be profitable first. And then after that, all of this other stuff came so that they could stay in business while they do what the fuck they want to do. That's why they all have lobbyists in Washington to get done what they want to get done. If they were actually sustainable, then they wouldn't have corporate jets. If they were actually doing what they said that they wanted to do, they wouldn't have executive suites. They wouldn't have a disparity in hiring. It wouldn't still be a vanilla fest and a sausage fest at the top of every corporation in America if they were doing what they said that they were going to do. So that's what I'm saying, is that is the message that you are getting presented. It's not the fucking truth. It is a European male sausage fest in corporations. And everything else is based upon them getting fucking profits and delivering double-digit profits to Wall Street. That's the root cause. So if you want to fucking change some shit, cut the head off that shit. I am answering your question. Sarah said, topic, this is a lifestyle you have created, Dr. Donna. It's like the school for X-Men. Can we stay at level 5? I don't see how I could get off this now. It's hard to give an educator a topic without also a question for me. It is not hard for you to do it. It is you are going to have to think at a higher level. You're going to have to think at a higher level. Nola is thinking at a higher level, and I'm giving Nola answers that Nola doesn't agree with, but I'm speaking from firsthand observation. So she's saying she worked hard to think up these questions. I'm sure when I get to the bottom that she has something to say. I'm sure when we get off this live, there will be a conflict that we will need to resolve because she has worked hard on these questions. And I am saying, think at a higher level. Nola is at level 5. These are higher questions for you, Nola. And I'm sure there will be some cursing when I get down. That's crazy, Teresa said, because I think you have an extensive vocabulary, and I was going to ask if there was a vocabulary list of words and phrases I need to develop a lexicon for this study. You don't. And so the person said that because I was creating friction for them and they couldn't understand what I was saying. And so they literally tried to attack my vocabulary because I present as a person who shouldn't have this vocabulary. And so because it made them uncomfortable, they actually felt hijacked, and that's why they went off and said what they said grammatically incorrectly. Sarah said, lack of vocabulary. Well, I can't even spell the word she be saying. Trolls be dilute. Bridget, my post got moved. Mine was not about just listening. It was about developing my questions. I don't want no smoke, Dr. Donna. Oh, no, I don't. I didn't want to be causing no problems. I got questions, but I think I got the assignment wrong. It wasn't topic based. They were just questions. I did do my homework. Okay, I feel like a can of worms been opened inside my head. I feel like a brand new person. Bridget, what did you type that I did not see? Sarah said we can ask our chats what the topic is. I definitely need to. So I'm not asking enough whys after a question. Yeah, that because Monique, where you are definitely needing to be asking way more questions than that topical surface stuff. Because you are in transition. You about to be hitting a new age bracket, decade. You are in transition from a work perspective. You are in transition from a traveling perspective. So your questions definitely need to be more detailed. While thinking of my questions, my post before, I'm just thinking, and then TikTok put her questions together and move mine. I'll ask the questions. You know I will. Okay. The brain dump. Teresa said, what does it mean if you find yourself dumping the same thing in multiple dumps? Is that screaming? I need to be addressed. You're not getting resolution in the ACC. So let me explain it to you like this. The insula sends a notification. Hopefully your insula is getting less numb so you can notice it. You then get the friction in the ACC. So the ACC is saying, don't address trolls. Don't address trolls. Just let it go. And then the other part is saying, no, fuck that. This is your environment. Who the fuck a troll think they are coming to my shit? They gonna get handled every time. So then I do the research and I say, what's happening with the trolls? What's taking place with the trolls? And so if I don't have an actual solution to update what I'm going to do about the trolls, I'm gonna keep asking chat about the trolls. That's why I literally made that graphic. Dr. Donna starts the live. Captain Thomas says you can look, listen, and like. Should you decide to do something other than that, you will be blocked. If you keep it up, then that's when Dee from the D shows up. Dee from the D removes the trolls, and then Dr. Donna comes back in to finish out the live. So that's my strategy. Now on TikTok this morning, we let that person be the doggone lesson because I was demonstrating that a people-centered brain cannot focus on itself. And so that person had about 30 entries, and everybody could see clearly that that person literally could not stop thinking about me. That's a people-centered brain. And I kept saying, type something about you. You said you got a lot to say. You actually don't. So you can see the cognitive dissonance in the brain. So if you keep asking the same question over and over and over again, it's because you haven't updated the friction in the ACC. And so until you tell the ACC, we're not going to let trolls just get away with things anymore. We're not going to let them continue to disrupt the whole environment. What we're going to do is start with Dr. Donna, then we're going to transition to Captain Thomas, and then we're going to transition to Dee from the D, and then we're going to go back to Dr. Donna so we can finish out the subject. So that friction, you keep answering it. The same question, you got to do the root cause analysis and ask more and more and more questions so the friction goes away and you have closure. Additionally, if Uncle Vinny doesn't have a why, he's not bought into it, you're never going to get it done. You need a why and a strategy to execute after the friction is gone, or that behavior, that thought process is going to stay right where it is. There will be no neurological shifts. Sarah said, topic, doing side activities while watching, listening to the lives. Example, is it okay to be printing off paperwork while listening, or is it sit in undivided attention type of time? Monique listens to the lives while she's doing other things. And so if it will stop you from mind wandering, daydreaming, and ruminating, then that is better than being with, if you can't self-reflect and self-correct while you're doing something, then that will give you, your brain, something else to do. Especially if you have ADHD, Nola listens to music while she's putting stuff in for the YouTube videos. So she'll be implementing, putting in bios and things like that and listening to music at the same time. So if you experience mind wandering, daydreaming, and ruminating, then yes. Okay. Teresa, I need to become more educated on the anterior cingulate cortex and the insula and how it affects the body. Message me. I believe I have lives on that. So message me and I will send you the links at some point today. And Nola, I have said this to you. You are assessing what the companies are doing to run your own company so you can run it better. So what you are actually doing is what I was doing in the neuroscience classes. And I sat through all those boring ass classes with all that stupid shit that I wasn't going to use for a nugget here and there. So I am saying the things that are being presented and said, that's not your lesson from them. Yours is going to be some little bitty ass piece of information that through that whole shit. So for example, in my neurobiology class, she talked about the glial cells for maybe 3 minutes. She barely mentioned the amygdalas, and she didn't even say left and right. And now we got Amy and Lala. We have all of the 85. What she did mention was the glial cells, and that French neuroscientist counted, and it's a 1-to-1 ratio. That's all she said. And now we over here understanding the oligodendrocytes, the astrocytes, the glial cells, the microglials, and the ependymal cells. That one little sentence that she said there's a 1-to-1 ratio, 85 billion glial cells, 86 billion neurons, and so because it's so close, it's a 1-to-1 ratio. So what I am saying to you is they're doing it wrong. Absolutely 1000% wrong. And so what you are extrapolating are the things that you need. So when you build these next businesses, you are taking small little amounts. Frito-Lay was a horrible company for me to work for. But what I took away was none of the shit that anybody else took away. Nobody was talking about the doggone Herman Lay and C. Doolin and how they came together. Nobody is mentioning the sheet of machines with fucking 40 bags a minute. Nobody is mentioning the supply chain. So when COVID showed up, I'm going to talk to the grocery managers and saying, what's your delivery cycle? So you're taking and extrapolating the things that you will be able to use, not this business model, because the business model is actually wrong. So you, just like I took the neuromarketing information, got the certification in it and said, that's awesome bullshit. This is what you need to know what's happening to you when you're doing neuromarketing. That's what I'm saying. It's wrong. It's not good. So you take the small things and say, root cause analysis. Hey, come on with me. Lean Six Sigma. Come on with me. Inspect what you expect. Come on with me. Clean up the range after you leave. Before you leave, to put it back like it was. Come on with me. So you're taking information and saying, I'm going to take this information. I'm going to take this concept, and then I'm actually going to make it best. Because right now it's not. Lola said, question is, now that my vocabulary has improved by reading more and now that I'm navigating my life differently from your lessons, would it even go back to the old ways if you stop doing what you're doing? Yes. Yes, ma'am. It would definitely, it's called use it or lose it. If you stop doing it, it's going to stop being available. The microglials will push that shit right on out the way. Topic, possibly turning real leadership into a university. No, it's going to be an app, and then there will be courses available for people in college to become brain teachers, and then course curriculums in schools. No university. I'm trying to analyze what's being done to fix it. NOLA has been trying for 23 years. I'm just saying, laugh out loud. Okay, thank you. More detailed question. So NOLA, how about this, sweetie? How about after I take my shower and you eat, we sit down and develop a strategy for you to be able to know what to extrapolate from what it is that you're seeing? Because right now you don't have a sound strategy. How about that? Teresa, thanks for the resolve moving mountains. Oh, Teresa said, thanks for the resolve moving mountains. Yes, ma'am. Sheree said, what part of the brain is affected by seasonal affective disorder? At this point, I have no idea what seasonal affective disorder is. Let me see what this new thing is. Give me a second. So, this is always some new terms. Let's see. So seasonal affective disorder, it's called SAD, is a type of depression that occurs during certain times of the year. So it's seasonal. Got it. Commonly in the fall and the winter when daylight hours are shorter. Symptoms usually improve in the spring and the summer. Common symptoms include feeling sad, down, or hopeless most of the day, low energy, fatigue, sleeping more than usual, increased appetite, especially craving carbohydrates, weight gain, difficulty concentrating, losing interest in activities you normally enjoy, withdrawing from family and friends. What causes it? The exact cause isn't fully understood. I'm trying haircut. But it's thought to be related to reduced sunlight affecting the body's internal clock, the circadian rhythm, changes in levels of serotonin, a brain chemical involved in mood, changes melatonin, a hormone that regulates sleep. How is it treated? Treatment may include light therapy, sitting near a special light box, typically 10,000 LUX, for about 20 to 30 minutes each morning. You can do some psychotherapy, especially cognitive behavior therapy, meditation. Antidepressants may be recommended for some people. Lifestyle changes, regular exercise, spending time outdoors during daylight, maintaining a healthy sleep schedule, and eating a balanced diet. If someone has symptoms of depression that last for more than 2 weeks or interfere with daily life, it's important to speak with a healthcare professional if there are thoughts of self-harm or suicide. Seek immediate emergency help or contact local crisis center service. SAD is a real treatable medical condition, and many people improve significantly with the right treatment. The exact cause isn't fully understood. SAD is a real treatable medical condition. The exact cause isn't fully understood. Any questions? Any? So we have a it's called SAD because you are sad because the weather changed and now you're sitting at home eating carbs and sleeping because the weather changed and the seasons changed, so you're sad. Seasonal affective disorder. Something new. That's wrong. It causes you to stay home and sleep and eat. Difficulty concentrating. So we have another neurological disease that we don't know what causes it, but it's a real disorder. It's another disorder. They found another disorder that's seasonal related. Got it. I have no idea. Oscar, the orbital frontal cortex, developed this and made it a thing. It's, the exact cause isn't fully understood, but it's a real thing. I don't. How can it be real if you don't know what caused it? How do you know you actually got it? And it could be treated with some medication and some light bulbs It's an exposure therapy to something that has been happening since the beginning of time. Seasons. There's now a disorder attached to seasons. I can't Shri with this one. I'm not. I'm gonna scroll up. Okay. Wow. Thank you for that. I received it. I got it. Going to work on it. Andrea, in your view, are corporate jobs something you have to grow out of as your brain develops? Yep. You can't stay there. If you can stay stuck, you will be stupid and you will know how to do that raggedy ass job, but you won't, because it takes up so much cortical real estate. You won't know how to do anything else but that job. You'll have some bread if you go all the way up, but neurologically, you ain't gonna know nothing but that job. That's from my experience. I spent 9 years in corporate America, and the only reason why I was smarter than the average bear is because I got a doctorate, I wrote a book, I got married, got divorced, I was starting businesses and everything else. But if I had just went to work and put them damn chips on a truck and sent them to the marketplace, my brain, no, it would have started. I left at 37. Working memory started deteriorating at 35. No fucking way I'd be as smart as I am now. No fucking way I have this many synaptic connections, neural pathways. Not at all. Topic: handling Oscar in your business. Bridget, you're doing a great job currently of turning in the neural reps. What Oscar is going to do as you continue to grow your business is he is going to show up in ways that you could not have imagined. Everything that you have avoided in your life is going to show up from Oscar in your business. Everything that you skipped the line on, everything that you said you did not want to fucking do, Oscar is going to bring it to you in the form of your business. And that's why people fail in business, because they don't realize that it's nothing but fucking growth opportunities and a mirror reflected back at your ass. So what happens is most people's Oscar-fied growth opportunities show up and they start delegating that shit out. They start saying, well, I need to hire somebody to do this because I need to get organized. I need to hire somebody to manage the books. I need to hire somebody to do the graphics. I need to hire somebody to go get me some customers. I need a sales force to do this. That's how it happens. And so now you didn't delegated out all your growth opportunities that you should have solved yourself. And now you're sitting here saying, look what I built. Look at this business. Look at all this stuff we did. But you still you. So Oscar's still going to be fucking with you because those are still your growth opportunities. I know it from experience with my sister. I know it from watching other people do it. I watched Nola have all her nice little growth opportunities show back up. So when you open a business, you opening up all that shit that you walked away from, and it's coming back with way more momentum. And now you got to deal with it, or you're going to run away. I'm going to get caught up on the characters and the roles they play today. Teresa, I had to do something like dishes during troll smacking season just to keep Oscar to shut up. Business credit relevance. You're not ready for business credit. I know you have your S Corp and everything, but you got to get ready for those things. So right now, you got to fix you first, and then you'll do that. Because what will happen is Oscar likes to focus on the external things. I start giving you information for that, you're going to start going down a rabbit hole of that, and you're going to miss all the stuff that you need to work on first. So that's my answer, is let's put a pin in that while you continue to work on what you need to work on. I skipped your question, Lola. Let me go back. Question is, now that my vocabulary has improved, am I navigating life? I answered your question, Lola. I said, if you continue, if you go back, the way you'll go back to the old way is by not continuing the work. So you will, if you use it or lose it, you continue to keep doing the work that you're doing, and your brain will continue to grow. But if you stop reading, if you stop learning, stop growing, it's going to go back to default. The microglials are going to go ahead and prune that out the way, say, we don't use that. We're not doing that anymore. And so you have to continue to strengthen that neural pathway. Excuse me. All right. It's not that I was just replying to what you were saying. It was delayed because you are answering other people's questions. So by the time you keep getting to mine, it's already been answered. I was just addressing that I wasn't taking notes from what they were doing or talking randomly about others. I was saying your thoughts on specific things I picked out and thought were important to see if you thought they were important for it could be fixed. I'm not trying to be a carbon copy. I'm real leader find things. Got it. Okay, got it. I understand what you're saying. And so you're saying on those topics are those things that you should be using in your business. And I'm saying I don't even know that those things will be a thing by the time you do what you're doing. Sounds like a program prompt to me. Sad. What sounds like? Oh, you talking about this? SAD does. Yes. How you gonna have a real disease without? Okay, y'all talking about SAD. Shri, the mind makes it real if you believe it. Co-creators in reality. Shri, did we answer your question? Bridget, it's not a new disease. SAD has been around. It's a big thing in Alaska when it goes dark for months. I was going to say that, Bridget. I understand that. I was going to say that from the people in Alaska when I was in the military police, it's more domestic violence in the times when Alaska is dark than it is anywhere else. Got it. Thank you. For that, I wasn't thinking in that sense, but it's needed. I was actually talking about handling Oscar and my clients that show up in my assessment. Okay. Not ready for business credit. Got it. No. So yes, here's what I will say, Bridget. It's a thing in Alaska. It's been a thing. And now it's a thing. So let's look at it this way. It's a thing in Alaska. It's been a thing in Alaska. Now someone has said it's a whole thing. So what do you think is going to happen in the fall and the winter now that people know that SAD has scaled? SAD is going to become a thing that you go to the doctor and they're going to say, are you sad? Yes, I'm sad. Okay, let's get you this light bulb. Let's get you some antidepressants because your GABAs is gabbing too much. This is why you're eating these comfort foods and everything. So what is the neurological decision for SAD? What's the neurological decision? So here are the treatments. Sitting near a special light box for about 20 to 30 minutes each morning. CBT therapy. Oh, you need to go see a therapist for this. Antidepressants. So pharmaceuticals. You need a pharmaceutical drug. And then you're going to do regular exercise outdoors during daylight and maintain a healthy sleep schedule and balanced diet. Who get off work in the winter in time to go outside and exercise? Who got that schedule? Because it's dark by 4:30, by 5 o'clock. So who gonna be able to go outside before it get dark and go exercise in the daylight? Who gonna be able to do that? So this company that has these lights gonna make some bread. The cognitive behavior theory people are gonna make some bread. Antidepressants are gonna make some bread. And gyms are gonna make some bread. Okay. So you myelinated depression from the weather. Where is the neural pruning for that myelination? Is that happening with the CBT? Is that where it's happening at? Is that how it's happening? So who stands to benefit from SAD? And telling people about SAD, is there a GLAD after you're SAD? Is there a GLAD taking place? Because again, now this is another disorder. Where the order non-diseases at? Where's that at? Where's the line for that? Where's the glad line? Where's the bad motherfucker line? Where is it at? So, Shri, are you still there? Dr. Ola, and if you are, I'm scrolling up. Dr. Olagun said, when high stress triggers my default brain state, my prefrontal cortex loses bandwidth to legacy habits. I realized I had very few circuit breakers in place to catch or prevent default patterns. Okay. Sarah said, how chemicals and hormones from exercises like calisthenics affect focus, determination, if at all. Well, according to neuroscience, you go ahead and get you some adrenaline, norepinephrine, and some serotonin is released. You also strengthen your brain-derived neurotropic factor from that, and it allows you to focus better if you're sleepy. When I was in the Army, they used to make us do push-ups so you get your nice little boost and not fall asleep during that boring ass training. Here's what I will say. And I'm seeing a trend here, so I'm saying this. Currently, there's a lot of information out there already about what works for the brain. All of these things are being said. You got nice, like vagus nerve, you got the reticular activation system, you got the parasympathetic system. And so these are bits and pieces of information that don't actually lead to neuroplasticity. They're exercise because you want to be able to use your body. When you get older, you want to be able to squat, so nobody's helping you go to the bathroom. That's why you exercise, so that your brain will be in shape. The blood will flow. If you get to level 3, you find out what happens when you sit down for 8 hours or more a day, when you watch television for 10 hours. And so everything needs to have a neurological long-term benefit, not short-term. Not do this so this will happen. Do this. I'm saying neuro reps strengthen your brain for everything that you do so that you can start processing these things. So SAD is something that was occurring in Alaska, just like the hand washing research occurred in a building on a college campus that was part of a larger research. That's what was happening. And so exercise is so that you will be healthy, so that your brain will be healthy, so that your blood will circulate, so that you will not be overweight, so you will not be overtasking your organs and your joints. So it's this whole experience that's being segmentized by people to monetize something. So here we have another disorder, as if there aren't enough disorders. So we got experts waking up looking for disorders, but the solutions keep being the same. The solutions keep being a product, a therapy, and a pill, and exercise. No matter what the fuck the disorder is, there is a product, a therapy, and a pill. A product, a therapy, and a pill. A product, a therapy, and a pill. Where's the solution now? The neurological solution. My child has 3 mental illnesses and it's killing the game. It's not fair. And you know what the fuck we don't have? A product, a therapy, or a pill. We got neuropability, an individual choice that she made on December 22nd, 2017. Start working on this motherfucker right here. I don't know what y'all typing down there. You're probably going to say something. I'm saying this now. We just keep waking up looking for disorders. The brain got 86 billion neurons and 85 billion glial cells. Why are we still looking for what's wrong with the brain instead of capitalizing off of what's right with the brain? Where that group of people at? Where is that? We're still looking at the brain as a disorder and a disease because of negativity bias, because the brain is wired for comfort, safety, and survival. The only time we look at a brain for anything other than diseases is in athletes and entertainers. The rest of the time, something wrong. Get you to normal. So you sad, and then what, you're going to be settled? Is that the objective? For you to be functioning regular in society to get your ass to 70% again? It's a real thing. You know what's a real thing? Real leadership. Real leadership is a real thing. Real leadership has tangible shit. Every fucking principle of real leadership you can trace back to why it's necessary neurologically. Just rediscovered that the theory of personal accountability relates to the orbital frontal cortex and the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. Just map it. So I don't have an answer for you, Shri, if you're listening, because the research that I just got doesn't link it to a brain region. It does link it to depression. It does say the neurotransmitters of serotonin and melatonin. So, and circadian rhythms, another buzzword, does link it to all of those nice little fun things. And it does have treatment for not knowing what exactly caused it, even though it says seasonal in it. On SAD, I believe it's linked with vitamin D or something we absorb from the sun that is either unavailable or less absorbable for some during the winter and cold months. Okay, I must have had SAD when I lived in Detroit then, because they called that Gotham City. Bridget said, I know they try to say it about the Midwest now. It's lack of vitamin D, as Dr. Olagun said. You're exactly right. That's why they've done. That's what they've done. Industry created around SAD, just another trend for everybody to follow. People always want to be in some type of club, click, claim disease, illnesses, so they don't have to take responsibility. Dropped. Can Dr. Donna talk about how to catch or prevent this from happening beforehand? Yes. The cause and the cure come from the same. Before I knew of it, lived with it in my body, my question was centered around what part of the brain needs to be supported and how it kept me on an annual cycle with the symptoms. Okay. Let me ask you this, Shri. If you never found out about SAD, you would have just been in that cycle? So I can't answer that question for you because I'm looking at the research and the research isn't telling me what that is. I asked chat, what is it? And chat told me what it was. And so the initial research did not tell me that. It didn't tell me what brain region was impacted by it. I can ask. Okay. The regions most commonly impacted are the hypothalamus, especially the suprachiasmatic nucleus, or the SCN, the phenol glands, the prefrontal cortex, specifically the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, the amygdala, and the hippocampus. It is suggested that rather than thinking of SAD as a problem in a single brain structure, It's more accurate to think of it as a network disorder involving light detection and circadian timing, hormonal regulation, mood regulation, and executive control and emotional regulation. From a neuroscience perspective, the hypothalamus and the SCAN, the SCN is the region most directly linked into the seasonal aspect of this disorder because it's the brain's primary light sensitive timing system. And so the prefrontal cortex and the amygdala and the hippocampus are more closely related to the mood cognitive systems that result. I live in a sunny environment now and sun gaze as a way to combat the systems I've been released from it. Okay. So no disrespect to you, Shri, for having this sad. None whatsoever. And you've moved to a warmer climate. I release myself by lessening exposures to multiple seasons. Thank you for the deeper dig in the discussion. Yes. So having lived in Gotham City, Detroit, the sun never shines. I live in Las Vegas now. The sun always shines. You live in Bali. Got it. Totally understand that. 1000%. So you actually shifted your environment in order for this to stop. Is that correct? You shifted your environment. We need vitamin D. We need these things. And so my deeper point is these things are being made the solution. At no point did this say relocate to a sunny environment. None of the solutions were to relocate to a warmer climate. I moved from Gotham City, you moved, and now you live in Bali. That wasn't one of the solutions. The solutions was get a light to sit next to the light for 10 to 20 minutes a day. So would sitting next to that light for 10 to 20 minutes a day have helped you? Would cognitive behavior theory have helped you? Would appeal have helped you? And the answer is no, because it wouldn't have helped me. How you are no longer sad is because you moved somewhere where there aren't 4 seasons. There's 1 or 2. I moved to Florida, I moved to Alabama, I moved to Tennessee, Kentucky, I moved to Las Vegas. All areas that had way more sun and warm weather than they ever would in Michigan. So I'm saying if sad is a real thing, and I'm not saying it's not, I'm saying the solutions don't work. So stay in Detroit, Gotham City, go ahead and get you a light, 20 minutes a day, go ahead and get you some behavior therapy, and take a pill. The sun still didn't shine. So I got to change my whole environment. I got to move somewhere else. That's what I'm saying. Every disorder has a therapy, a product, and a pill. And you had to relocate to a whole nother country in order for this to stop. And so you now have your brain regions, the hypothalamus, the suprachiasmatic nucleus, the pineal gland, the prefrontal cortex, specifically the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, the amygdala, and the hippocampus. And so what I am saying is bigger than what you're saying, Shri, and I'm glad that you no longer are sad and you go sun gazing and you do all of that, which none of those things were actually the solution, because how you going to go sun gazing and go outside when outside is the fucking problem? Because it's gloomy outside. My bigger point is, and we're getting ready to go neutral so we can go ahead and get out of here. My bigger point is this group of people keeps identifying disorders. This group of people keeps having a product, a therapy, and a pill for these disorders. I'm amazed at the amount of prescription drugs that are being prescribed to people today, more than ever before in our history, for these things that are being brought up. And what we have is a neurologically reductive group of adults. Because every time you take a prescription drugs, there are side effects. Neurological side effects. They tell you about the body bleeding and all of that, but they're still stopping the brain from braining based upon this one thing. You got to ask yourself, damn, do I want all those side effects for this one thing? Fuck it, I'll just deal with that one thing. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying we are not in a world where having a high functioning brain is supported. What's supported is having a disorder. Well, I got this, well, I got that. And not some like medical actual diseases, but these disorders that just keep showing up. If you have SAD, you need to relocate. You need to relocate to a warmer climate. That's the solution. Go somewhere where the sun shines more. We got places like that in America, and there are places like that in the world. What the fuck is the rest of this stuff? More disorders than order. I'm going to go ahead and go neutral. Let me get my clock out. So do not take that I am being disrespectful to what you are saying, Shri. It is bigger than that, and you had to move. Because if I had to use what they said living in Detroit, I'd still be sad. If you had to use it and stay in the US, you still be sad. That's what I'm saying. So those are the 5 brain regions that are impacted by it, which the study should have said to begin with. Neutral SGA. All right. Any questions for actual Dr. Donna? Glad, give life addressing D. Yes, ma'am. So again, Shri, not coming after you at all. It's not, if it felt like a personal attack, it was not that. It is, once again, there's no actual solution to solve it. You are doing better things now for your business and for yourself because you now have access to less seasons. So that's the option. That's actually the thing that's going to be better than this. Relocation wasn't one of the options as a treatment. Ask Dr. Donna if you don't have any questions. Go ahead and say, everybody has a brain. My attention is a resource. I think what I'm going to do next Thursday is I'm going to pick the topics so people can understand what it means, because it's not clear to people, so that's on me. So I'm going to start picking topics so you'll understand the difference between asking a question and picking a topic for discussion. So Ask Dr. Donna on Tuesday is asking me questions about you and your cognition, world leadership, neuroprobability, and things that impact you directly. So I will answer, hey, what should I do about my business or something like that? Because in that form, people are used to asking me questions about me and not questions about you. And over here, Shri did it, Nola did it. Nola didn't like my responses, but it's actual topics to think about things bigger than if it bleeds, it leads. Things that you are considering. And so what needs to take place, as I mentioned, is that you are in your default mode network most of the time, especially if you live alone. What are you thinking about? Is it going to impact your 2 levels up? That's what Nola's questions are about. Going in business. What am I going to do in my business? Here's what's happening now. Here's what could be happening later. How do I build it and make it better? Everybody like, no, we ain't asking you shit else today, Dr. Donna. Now, I asked you nothing. Everybody has a brain. My attention is a resource. Okay. And then what did you do to strengthen Miss Darlene? And what did you do for fun? What was your topic, Bridget? And again, when I don't see it, are you talking about glad? I know they tried to say it about the Midwest now. It's a lack of vitamin D, as Dr. Olagun said. You're exactly right. That's what we have done. Are you talking about that or the GLAD? Nola said it wasn't me. See, now. Nola said it wasn't me not liking your topics. I think you were initially misinterpreting the purpose of my question. I think it cleared it up and understand your perspective. Real leadership will improve a lot. Yes, ma'am. Shri said, I don't feel attacked at all. Not trying to solve a problem. The question was centered around what region of the brain was affected, which was answered. Yes, ma'am. And again, for me, there are things that I'm still working on, and it is a group of people who did not do the actual work and decided to do comfort work, and I'm doing cleanup work as a result of them not wanting to actually be discomforted and study how the brain can become high functioning in real life. So everything is, this is what we did in our study, this is this, and now here's the solution for this thing that we found. That's a disorder. It's harder to find the actual better side of things. That's why I think positive is one of the principles of real leadership, because it's easy to go look for something that's wrong. It's harder to look for this is wrong and what's the best way to make this better. That requires much more cognition than people are willing to have. Teresa said, what I did to strengthen Ms. Darlene, I did brain dumps before class today to ensure neural clarity and focus. What's your question, Sarah? Daisy said, I strengthened Ms. Darlene by researching hardware for a leather handbag. So that's more what it's directed at, Shri. And so I'm working towards not having that frustration present itself during this live. But every fucking time I turn around, here they go. Lola said, what I learned today is learning how to ride a bike is not the same as learning how to use your brain. You can lose that knowledge. Right. Learning how to ride a bike is part of your semantic memory. But if you, let's put it this way. If you read every day and then you stop reading for 5 years, you pick the book back up, it's going to be hard. Even though it's part of your semantic memory, it's going to take you longer because you're not using it. I used to know how to play academic games. I can't remember academic games at all because I've not been playing academic games. I will have to pick it back up, and it might come back to me or it might not come back to me because of everything else that I have done. Because I don't know that I played it long enough. Now, I know how to cook, and because I cooked for so long, just because I stopped cooking doesn't mean I don't know how to cook, because that's a skill set for me. But if you don't continue to do, it's just like with foreign languages. If you don't speak them every single day and that's not your Muttersprache and you didn't master it, you try to go back and sprechen Sie Deutsch, you're going to be like, huh? Nein? What? Sarah said, my internet went, so I addressed it. So you addressed it, I missed it. Okay. Sarah said, how do you determine when you have a sensitive response to something you know is BS and just straight up calling it BS? It's situationally dependent. So you got to pause and practice inhibitory, really 10 significant seconds of silence. And then sometimes you got to call it BS. You could just use tact, exercise tact, and address it as it is. So if you're talking about me in this instance, things are things. But the things that are things that we actually need to be focusing on are harder to do. So then we make small things big. And Mark Twain said it. Small things can be made big with enough advertising. And so as a result of that, these big things were small at once. And now they're huge. And because of the people-centered thinking, here we go. Now we're going to focus on that. More people need to start talking about the brain and focused on the brain. So that we can actually, because the way I see it, Shri, sometimes you live in colder climates because the cost of living is cheaper in some colder climates. But if a 17 square foot house costs the same, no matter where it was located, people who like 4 seasons would go and move where that 17, and really you got to say 2,500 square feet. So if a 2,500 square foot house cost the same amount of money in America, no matter where it was, then people would move to the climate that they wanted. It's a lot of people that don't like living in warm climates and they want to live in a cold climate, but their job is here, their house is here, and they hate the heat. So they can't relocate because of the cost of living, because of the job and everything else. But people like the rain. There's a lot of people that like the rain. They move here, they're like, damn, it don't ever rain. So when things are actually designed to be fair and equitable, and the only thing that's different is weather, now you don't have to stay somewhere that you don't want to be because that's where you got to stay. Those are the things that I'm saying. If sad is a huge thing, then people should be able to relocate to a warmer climate so they won't be sad. If the sun is killing folks and they too hot and they're cold natured, let them go to Montana. Why they can't leave and go to Montana? That's what I'm saying. Shri said, I strengthened Ms. Darlene by being fast acting towards challenging solutions. Did I miss somebody? Bridget said, I strengthened Ms. Darlene by schooling a system for pool maintenance. Because your pool getting ready to have to be covered up in another 6 weeks, right? So let me know, sorry, if I answered your question. Nola said, I strengthened Ms. Darlene by remaining calm in my SGAC when I had the assembly issues at my appointment yesterday. Nola said, I had fun by listening to music before bed because I ruined the end of, what's the name for you? Bridget said, I had fun by playing old school games with the kids. I taught them hopscotch. Nola said, Bridget said, I did 5 brain dumps. Nola said, I put respect on my brain with a 35-minute nap. Shri said, I'm from NYC. Initially, we had equal portions of seasonings. However, this is something I experienced my entire life. Yes, ma'am, I understand completely. You said, let's move on. I understand what you're saying from that perspective. I'm no longer actually just talking about this, Shri. I'm talking about in general. I'm talking about something that I am aware of that is taking place from a whole bunch of things that don't make neurological sense. So I understand that you're good. I'm not talking about you being sad anymore. I'm talking about overall what is taking place for people and decisions that they actually have to make. Day-to-day life, the things that people have to endure because people are not using their brains. That was just an example of one particular thing. So I'm using that as the example. I'm no longer talking about you specifically having it. I'm saying in general, these are actual things that I actually do think about. Sarah said, I wasn't talking about you, but your response to the sad topic induced the question because I have a tendency to get irritated with shit I know is bull, and it can cause people to not want to talk to me. So that is a matter of communicating effectively. So Bridget initially had that when she first came over here. She called it like she saw it, and she said it any kind of way. So you now have my book. So go ahead and read the exercise tact segment of the book, Sarah. And it's just a matter of, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. So you can practice that. You can even ask chat. I said this, chat, what is a more tactful way to still get it across without sugarcoating it or getting your message lost? Bridget said, I put respect on my brain by sunbathing and soaking in the sun before vacuuming the pool. Okay, last questions are, what did you learn today and what did you learn about yourself if you haven't already said it? I had fun by engaging in a deep belly laugh, coming from Shri. Did this finally download? No. Anybody else? What did you learn today and what did you learn about yourself? Noah said, I learned I need to be looking for nuggets, not necessarily infrastructure. all the time. Right. Teresa said, what did I learn today? Somebody benefits from people having disorders and diseases. Noah said, I learned about myself. My questions and topic bringing up could stand to be improved. I'm still a work in progress on communicating effectively. Everybody's could. I'm going to address that at the end. Because I got friction now, I'm having hot flash. Teresa said, what did I learn about myself today that I need to learn better question asking or sometimes difficult questions or sometimes difficult. I just basically figured shit out for myself. Learn, see that's popping up. Learn to live in my head, not in the world. Dr. Olagun said, I strengthened Ms. Darlene by questioning and exploring an alternative approach to a reoccurring task. Sarah said, I learned today that I need to give myself time to grow through this process, and I learned about myself that I need to be more humble. Sarah, everybody that comes over here initially, Oscar will, not everybody, a large group. Oscar will, especially if you had a comfort brain, Oscar will want you to hurry up because Oscar wants to know, when are we going to get back to comfort? When are we going to get back to that? Why are you still doing this? It's time for us to go and do nothing. It's time for us to go get some phase of dopamine. So hurry up. So if Oscar tells you this enough, then you will go back to what you were doing and say, see, this is better. We need some relief. So Oscar is asking you to hurry this up so you can get to your relief, which for you is drinking. So that's what's happening. So Oscar's going to tell you, no, this ain't working. It's taking too long. It's taking too long. It's taking too long. Because it's quick. It's immediate gratification. Come on, come on, come on. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. So Dr. Olagun said, for fun, I went to the park. I did one brain dump. So here's what I will say while you continue to type. Because we are a pat. I never thought this. I really thought we was going to be finished way sooner than this today. Shree said, I learned that increasing brain dumps are proving to be effective in my mental clarity with ease. Now, give me a second. I gotta go on YouTube to do this. Teresa said, what I did to put some respect on my brain. We're presented with a dilemma. I had to think outside the box, applied a new approach to how I would usually address this particular situation. Miss Darlene was quick on her feet. Real leader, principal, embrace change. Too long for the chat. Got it. Bridget said, I learned that Oscar will be disruptive if you allow Miss Darlene to relax. Sarah said, for fun, I did some more of a painting I have been working on for months. Well, that's awesome. Send me a picture when you're done. So here's what I will say about this Pick a Topic Tuesday and how we got here. Nobody has requested, and I found myself having to say this for Ask Dr. Donna. I am requesting a lot from your brain on a daily basis. Fact. No one prior to your exposure to me has required a lot from your brain on the daily basis. Every day that you are here, your brain is one day older. Every day, your brain is one day older. Some of you are almost at the 2-year mark. Lola is. Nola been around for a minute. Regina is hitting 18, 19 months, somewhere around. No. Yeah, somewhere around that. Daisy is up there. So your brain is 365 days, 400 and something days, 30 days, 60 days older. Days you're never going to get back. No matter what you do, you can't go backwards. And every day that you get is a day that you're never going to get again. And so, topic-based questions are for you to start assessing your life differently. They're designed for your brain to operate at a higher cognitive level. That's what they're designed to do. So just like I asked Dr. Donna Tuesdays, people have 1 or 2 regular, schmegular questions. And then I said it's 6 questions. And I watched the attendance drop on Tuesday because people don't want to ask 6 questions because that will be discomforting. And so today's questions were not really as high level as they could be, even NOLA. Now, why is that? Because in your day-to-day going about, Miss Darlene is not, there you go, Daisy. Miss Darlene is not online. You are not brain-centered thinking all day long. And that's why the questions were, well, what brain region is this? And what about this? Well, that's not a real question. And so what your brain is trained to do is there is a leader, there is an instructor. They have a thing that they give from a school perspective. Here's the curriculum, here's the subject, answer the questions, take a test, and never again do we see this information in life. And that's not how it works over here. That's not how it works. Now, tomorrow will be 1,000 days for me going live. 1,000. I'm 90 days short of 3 years consecutively. 1,000 days. I am at 999 days live. That's a lot of trolls. That's a lot of topics. That's a lot of everything. And then I come on Tuesdays and Thursdays because I'm just tired of fucking talking all the time. Since September 6th, I've done 2 lives every day. And these lives are getting longer and longer and longer because people need questions and you have answers. You want things resolved. And when it's your turn, after 999 days, this is what you're asking. Do you know how advanced my brain has to be after 999 days? 999 days consecutively. No vacations, no days off, dental work, tired, sleepy, getting home at 1 o'clock in the morning to wake up. And you're not the first group, you're just the current group in 999 days. In 999 days. I got a brain, you got a brain. And what has been myelinated is the person whose live it is does the talking, or we chit chat about what city you're from, where you're from, what this hot topics and shit is. And I am demanding more of your brain because your brain is capable of more. And every time I have a new demand, because that's what it feels like for you neurologically, there's this friction. And then I have to use my brain to figure out how to tell your brain to do what I'm asking your brain to do. 999 days. I have to sit here and say, no, that's not what I'm talking about. No, that's not what I'm talking about. No, that's not what I'm talking about. Nobody went to an AI and said, hey, I need pick a topic Thursday. Nobody went to your favorite AI and said, hey, this is Dr. Donna. This is her stuff. This her LinkedIn. I got to do pick a topic Thursday. Ask Dr. Donna Tuesday. What are some things? Here's what I'm working on. I need 6 questions. I need 6 topics. No. Other than Nola, who prepared for this live? Who prepared? I'm not reading nothing else. I don't care what y'all learned today because you didn't get the actual lesson. Who actually sat down yesterday and developed 6 topics? I know Nola did it because I had to do stuff so she could get it done. Who actually said, oh, tomorrow is pick a topic Thursday. Let me get my 6 topics together. Who did that? Okay. Thank you for being honest. That's one of the 74 principles of real leadership. Not you, not you. Okay. Okay. And then sure, you told me, let's move on from the topic. I wasn't talking about you anymore. I was making a neurological assessment of I'm like, it just makes sense to let people live where they want to fucking live based upon them having a climate choice. So 999 days. 900. What y'all been doing for 999 days consecutively with your brain? So you just take it for granted that somehow my brain didn't have to brain for 999 days and deal with every fucking kind of troll there ever is. And I'm not asking for empathy. I'm saying, do you understand the level of discomfort that it takes? And so I started having these extra topics because I'm fucking neurologically tired and I'm not going on vacation until the end of September. I'm 7-8 weeks out from vacation. More days. So I said, I can't keep talking for 14 because I haven't stopped doing TikTok lives. Started September 6th. Still haven't stopped. So I'm doing 2 lives a day, 2 different topics. And I said, I got to break this up. I got to break this up because this is neurologically exhausting for me. Plus, I don't know what you're getting. So I start saying, you got to start doing stuff. You got to start doing stuff. And you're like, well, it's 6 whole questions and it's 6 whole topics and it's 6 whole. You've been going live 999 consecutive days. I have a child, a business. She got a business. I was in the year 10 of my book reviews when I started going live. I did 6 neuroscience classes, certification in neuromarketing. Still learning shit. Still dusting off stuff and picking stuff back up again. Had to monetize my YouTube channel and keep that shit up. Now I'm working on merch and a brain owner's manual. Y'all couldn't get 6 topics. You couldn't, because you say you appreciate the work. You sure about that? You sure you appreciate this work? When it's time for y'all to put in the work, do you still appreciate it? When it's time for you to be discomforted during your day to do the work and prepare. Be prepared is one of the 74 principles of real leadership. Be prepared. Y'all got my book? I know sure your sister got to bring you yours when she come visit, but everybody else got a copy of it. Be prepared. Not prepared. And then you ask me reductive questions. Now I got to come down and ask a impromptu reductive question. That's it. It's disrespectful to the work. I am attempting to change humanity. That's the mission I got. Yay for me. Every time you don't do something, it impacts the research. the data is skewed. Tuesday, 3 people asked about other people. And because of that, I was able to see this other focused thinking. He focused on other people. So it's people focused thinking. And then there's brain focused thinking. Got it. We got to stop focusing on the people because we can only fix our brain. So I can't take away anybody's information today. Nola and I have to work for her to get a better strategy for what she's doing. But this was a L for me today. Because y'all didn't have topics that y'all were thinking about for the subgroup that you represent. So I don't have any data that I can use today to create a solution for some shit that other motherfuckers fucked up. I can't use shit from today's live. Not one question. The sad shit. That's just sad. So I don't have data to say 3 people asked this, 2 people asked this. This is interesting. Wow, I didn't think you were thinking about it from that perspective. Okay, let me go research this and let me do what no other researcher is fucking doing. Give you a solution very quickly. Can't do that today. Because I don't know what's happening in y'all life, but y'all do. I don't know what's happening. Everybody in different cities, locations, and I'm getting what brain region, what brain region, what brain region, what brain region. What am I going to do with that? What am I going to do with that? And none of you asked. One of the 74 principles of world leadership is if you don't know, ask. I use chat every day. I tell you, I was cussing chat ass out. It's not a week that don't go by where I'm saying, chat, what the fuck is this? You're using it to process your own thoughts. That's what it is. It's an assistant for you to process what's taking place, to gather shit. And the greater your relationship is with your AI, the more it will start drawing conclusions for you and saying, hey, remember last month, remember 2 months ago, remember 3 months ago. It puts it all together for you. So you don't have to keep trying to remember. It's going to algorithmically keep creating a picture for you, a narrative for you, a full-fledged, this is what's happening for you. Chat will say something, yeah, but see, from this time last year, chat will say, well, you know, a year ago, you would have said it this way. Now you're saying it this way. This makes sense for you and Nola going to London. This right here, chat will say, because when you was in the army, when you was doing DTM, when you was working at Frito-Lay, and pull all of that together to bring something back to my attention and create a new conclusion. That's what will actually happen. So we over 2 hours today, and I have no information. I ain't got shit I can use because I had a simple request. 6 topics for pocket change. So I could see what else the people before me fucked up. So I can say, yeah, let me go ahead and get a video. How many times you done ask something and I say, oh, I got a video for that. Where do you think that came from? Me being live saying, or me watching something. My channel about to be 13 years old. I'm looking at human behavior. I'm assessing things. I'm experiencing things. Let me make a video for that. Here go a resource. Here go a resource. Here go a resource. Here go a graphic. Here go this. Here go this. Here go this. And I got to keep searching for my own input while y'all over here benefiting without doing your part. Without doing your part. Skip it. Ooh, she going to ask some questions I ain't going to answer. Okay, well, what the fuck don't we have in the world because you didn't show up on Ask Dr. Donna Tuesday? What don't we have on Thursday? Because you decided that this work was neurologically tasking. What's missing now? And what will be missing? Because I don't know what I don't know. No. Ain't no making it up. This moment is gone. This moment is gone. No. Do better next week. Don't send me no text messages. Don't send me no messages or whatsoever, because I'm going to delete it. Because I shouldn't have had to say this. I shouldn't have had to say this. I got to pee. I'm hot. Fucking landscaper shit is loud as hell in my ear. But I'm sitting here almost a 1,000 days tomorrow is a simple request. Come here with 6 topics and 6 questions on the Tuesday. Never in your life will you ever meet another person that will be willing to do this. It is neurologically tasking. It actually is. You got to do your part. But once every 6 weeks, I find myself having to do this. Having to talk to your Oscars because you won't. Having to hold you personally accountable for your own neurological development. I'm going to use that principle of real leadership because it's there for that. Nobody messaged me and said, I'm confused about what questions to ask. And the fact that you didn't even prepare topics for me to say, no, that's not a topic. We're not doing religion. We're not doing politics. I'm staying away from both of those things. That's your own personal choice to worship or not, to vote, to not. That's on you. I'm not touching that shit with a 10-foot pole. But there are other topics out there. You didn't even prepare. You didn't even prepare. Didn't prepare. Didn't think to prepare. 999 days. I'll say the first 60 of those days I was figuring it out. But since January of 2024, I've had an agenda every day for every live. Sometimes I pushed it to the side, had to hear high power in the universe and say what I needed to say. As of January 19, 2025, you can go and scroll down on YouTube. Scroll, live. And now the TikTok lives are on YouTube. For 13 years, I have 13,500 YouTube videos of taking in information and saying that needs to be a video, that needs to be a video, that needs to be a post, that needs to be a post. So when you get here, it's already ready for you, and you can't prepare 6 questions, 6 topics. August resolution is to level up and make better decisions. I've myelinated not preparing, and I'll work on that immediately. So thank you, Shri, for your question. That gave me pause. Bridget has had that experience before where she says something and I'm like, wait a minute, hold up. Okay, cool, bet. The 6 questions and the 6 topics are for me to understand where you are, where you're located, what's taking place for you neurologically. Because that means that the subgroup that you represent has that same thing too. So let me create something for that thing. So when more of your subgroup shows up, I have that thing there for them. So neurologically, they don't have to waste any cortical real estate trying to figure it out, because here's the strategy for that. So now you can just go myelinate the strategy, the system, the process, the pruning. Syntax and Wintax. Sarah, message me so that you can see that video. I hope it's at your membership level. Now we'll undo it just so you can see that. So you didn't even prepare. Just came on a live and expected me to do my part. And I did. And I expected you to do yours. And you didn't. Now the one thing everybody should be paying attention to right now, and Nola will attest to this. You want me yelling and cursing. You want that from me. You don't want me calm. Syntax, S-I-N-T-A-X. Wintax, W-I-N-T-A-X. You actually want me mad right now. You want me yelling, you want me cursing, you want me saying F-bombs and motherfucker this and motherfucker that. Because when I get calm, the download is complete. And now I start creating action items. That's what I start doing. Tuesday is topics. Questions for yourself. Thursday is topics. Your neural reps have to be about your business because your neural reps were brain dumps. So if you have other questions, present those questions, and then I will let you know if those are questions that match. This is trial and error. So the problem is y'all have put this in the school category and you trying to get the right answer. And you don't want to be discomforted by not asking the right question. But this is about myelinating, asking questions so that Oscar won't fill in the blanks, keeping you afraid of asking questions. So all of you are afraid to make a mistake. So Oscar convinced you you don't have to prepare. Throw some shit out there. There should be enough people on the live that she won't be able to answer these 6 topics, and it's going to be okay. It's a discomforting decision, and y'all all chose comfort minus Nola. You chose comfort. You don't want to ask the wrong question. You probably are going to ask the wrong question. But what you're myelinating is asking questions. What you're myelinating is observing industries and topics and things that are taking place and saying, I wonder why that's like that. What's happening neurologically with that? What's going on with that? So you're not assessing your environment. You're not assessing your 2 levels up. What would it take? That's what Nola's questions are about, her 2 levels up. So that's what's not taking place outside of your neural reps and you attending lives. You're still treating this like a school. And it's not. It's not. It's elevation, 2 levels up. It's high cognition. It's fully capable and fully functioning all day long. Miss Darlene online all day long. That's what this is. It's nothing else but cognitive development, neurological repetitions, keeping Miss Darlene online so you can be a bad motherfucker. If I got an expectation for you, it's to be a real leader, an actual real leader. A bad motherfucker in your own right. But you got to do right. You got to do right. This is not school. Y'all ain't got no backpack. You ain't got no fucking notebooks. You got a brain dump. You gon' have a backpack, but it ain't gonna win all in class. All right, Miss Teacher Lady, see you next week. This your life. This your brain. It's your brain. Your brain. You're responsible for it. Right here. And I know, even you, Dr. Oligodendrocytes, you got a doctorate in computer science. And nobody demanded this much from you for you. If this was FUBU, for you, by you. Everybody has to work on it. Everybody has to work on it. So I got a lesson today. I don't like the lesson, but I ain't got no data. Now I got to wait till next Thursday to get some data. So in this category, in this neural pathway, I got nothing this week. Nothing that I could use. A bunch of shit that I got to fucking discard. Because y'all didn't prepare. You didn't contact me ahead of time. And you didn't think. I didn't think to use AI. Why not? Why didn't you think to use AI? Because you still got this in the school category and you didn't want to get called out for plagiarism. How you going to plagiarize your own fucking thoughts? Make that make sense. You can't plagiarize your thoughts. They're your thoughts. Your questions, your topics, you drawing conclusions. That don't make no damn sense. Why is that like that? So, no, you weren't prepared. No, I don't have any data that I can extrapolate. I got to process some shit in the shower, but it ain't data. It ain't something that I could improve. There's nothing to improve because there's nothing here. So what I'm improving on today, when I get ready to conduct my after action review, what am I reviewing? It's only Tuesday and Thursday. Tuesday is Ask Dr. Donna, and Thursday is Pick a Topic. And Sunday is Self-Reflection. So, yeah. Tomorrow is day 1000. It is real life with Nola and Dr. Donna. Sarah, make sure you're there because Nola explained it to me, but she's going to be able to explain it to you better because it's her experience. So I will give her that opportunity at the beginning of the live, regardless of what the topic is, so that you will understand, because she understands what you're experiencing now from a restrictions perspective and a fun perspective. Yeah. So y'all go off and have a neutral SGACC day. Use your dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. God willing, higher power of the universe, Nola and I will be back tomorrow with real life with Nola and Dr. Donna. You all have a great day.